Hi guys, what's up? It's Joel Pitt here, back with another video, and in this video I'll be doing a review for another movie that I've seen on Now TV recently. This is called Rocketman. In the last video I did a review for Ralph Breaks the Internet, which I'll leave a link to down below. Of course there's going to be spoilers in this review, so without further ado, let's get on with it. So this film was released on the 22nd of May 2019 in the UK. First time I saw it was on the 5th of June 2019. It's got 4.5-star rating on Now TV. It's a Paramount film. I watched it on the 17th of June as well. This film is all about the biopic and like the career of Elton John, who's played by Taron Egerton, who's been in Billionaire Boys Club, I think. He's been in the Kingsman film, The Secret Service and Golden Circle. Can't think of any other films. We've got Richard Madden, who plays John Reed, Lee Francis, who plays Pete, or more commonly known as portraying Keith Lemon in Celebrity Juice and Through the Keyhole. So at the start there was this melody of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and we see Elton walking with this eagle costume to this therapy thing, and he's like an alcoholic, he's a cocaine addict, sex addict and shopaholic, I think, as well, and he was like with other people telling his stuff. But then we go back to the very start where he was a kid, and like his real name Reggie. So at the start, like, he was playing the piano, and then when he went to bed he was pretending to conduct Rocketman. We have Bryce Dallas Howard, who plays Sheila, Reggie's mum. We have Stephen McIntosh, who plays Stanley, Reggie's dad. We've got Gemma Jones, who plays Ivy, who's the grandmother. And then, like, Stanley was saying, stop looking at that, you're not a girl. Basically, because he was looking at dresses, you know, thinking, oh, you know, that could be my costume, whatever. But Stanley is, like, not really heartwarming. He doesn't like showing it, and like he's not really been supportive with his son, really. Tom Bennett plays Fred, who basically has an affair with Sheila. Basically they get together, then Stanley gets really mad and he left Sheila for what, you know, Sheila did to him. Then, like, we saw, well, kind of bit of I know I'm saying this, a bit of a Fortnite reference in this, because when he was in the pub doing the song, he was kind of doing a dance that was a little bit like an Orange Justice, for Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting. Then this guy that's, well, they got asked to play somewhere, and then this guy who he'd been getting to know a bit, kissed Reggie. Basically, well, thinking, oh, you know, maybe he does like guys, so he did it. Then they were peeing in a glass. They saw this advert in the paper, to, you know, show their music, see if they're any good. Then they were doing this Piano to Candle in the Wind. He then looked at the Beatles when he was saying Elton, but he didn't know her last name. Then he just thought John, you know, from John Lennon. Stephen Graham plays Dick James, who basically runs this place that Elton went to do his music. But then when he's playing some of his songs, he's not liking them. He's saying they're too depressing, but he wants something, you know, upbeat thing, something that will make people go, I've listened to that. We hear, all right, don't break your own neck sucking your own, you know what. Don't get your knickers in a twist, he says. Arabella broke Reggie's piano and threw away his music. There was this Your Song melody. They were in the studio, they popped open some bubbly to celebrate because, you know, it did so well. Then, like, we hear, you F up and I'll kill you. Then the Troubadour was the place in America, or Los Angeles, I think, because it was Hollywood, where Elton played. Then we hear, play your little twat, Crocodile Rock, and then he was like flying in the air, Tiny Dancer at this party that he was invited to. Then this guy, I think Bernie Taupin, who's played by Jamie Bell, was who knows Elton, and like I think they were working together for most of the time. Got with Heather, who's played by Sharmina Harrower. John spoke to Elton, and then Elton was kissing John. Pete was offering some like shoes to Elton, and then Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Kiki D, who's played by Rachel Malden. John came back, and then we heard Honky Cat. Elton went back to see his dad, but then he had a record, but then he was about to sign it to his dad, but then he said, no, sign it to one of my mates, but you know, because he was that nervous, he didn't want to show it. Elton got out of the car and then told his mum about the stuff that he is involved in. Sheila moved house. John punched Elton. Then there was this bird costume, pinball wizard. They were going through all the costumes that he wore through his lifetime on performances. John was getting sucked off by his secretary. Family then came round, and then Elton took loads of pills and then went off this dive board. He was like, for my next trick, I'm gonna effing kill myself, whatever. And then he got up, they rescued him, and then there was this like firework. Benny and the Jets. Elton got married with his co-worker or something. They were like singing a song together, and then I think they got divorced. They met with his mum and BF. She's very disappointed in him now. Bernie went to see Elton. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Then Bernie left. Elton had a heart attack, I think. Then he was in Madison Square Garden. He took out some cocaine. Then he noticed some blood coming from his nose from him doing it too much. Then we see the costume that he had from the very beginning of the film. He then walked off. Then the costume was falling apart. And then we hear, but I've started acting like a C in 1975. Bernie gave Elton some lyrics, and then it was for I'm Still Standing. And then it's like the kicks, and then the costume, and then the walking stick, and then the famous beach scene. They made the effects on it to make it look more 1980s sort of thing. And there was domino. And then now, 28 years, we see all the stuff that's happened now. 28 years later, he's continued being sober, but he still has issues with shopping. After he left rehab, Elton set up his AIDS charity from a kitchen table. He's raised over $450 million, helps people living with HIV and AIDS over the world. Elton and Bernie continue to write songs after 50 years. There's been no argument. 25 years ago, he met his husband David. Elton is retiring from touring to spend more time raising their sons Zachary and Elijah. And then they were showing old photos from concerts. Overall, I would give this film 5 stars. Anyway, that is all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.